One seed of corn, a mathematical story. Maria and Carlos were two children who lived in a small village near the fields. They loved to play on the grass and run in the wind. They also helped their parents with planting and harvesting. One day, a terrible plague came to their land. The crops were eaten by locusts and the fields were barren. The people were hungry and poor. They prayed for food, but none came. The only place that had food was the palace of the king. The king was a greedy and selfish man who did not care about his people. He had a huge granary filled with corn that he used only for himself. He also had many bags of seeds stored in his barn. He did not share any of his food with anyone. Maria and Carlos decided to do something about it. They made a plan to get some seeds from the king's barn. They waited until nightfall, when the guards were asleep. Then they sneaked into the palace and reached the barn. They saw the piles of seeds under the lantern light. They looked so golden and shiny. They wanted to eat some, but they remembered their plan. They took out a small pouch that they had brought with them. "Let's fill this pouch with seeds," Maria said. "But that's not enough for everyone," Carlos said. "Don't worry, I have an idea," Maria said. "We will ask the king to give us more seeds tomorrow." "How will we do that?" Carlos asked. "You'll see," Maria said. "Just trust me." They filled the pouch with seeds and ran back to their village. They gave the seeds to their parents, who were very happy and grateful. They ate some and felt better. The next day, Maria and Carlos went to see the king. They brought the pouch of seeds with them. "Your Majesty, we have something for you," Maria said. "What is it?" the king asked. "It's a gift of seeds from your barn," Maria said. "Seeds from my barn? How did you get them?" the king asked. "We found a hole in your wall and we took some seeds," Maria said. "You stole my seeds? How dare you?" the king shouted. "Please don't be angry, Your Majesty," Maria said. "We only took one seed of corn." "One seed of corn? That's nothing," the king said. "Exactly. Your Majesty," Maria said. "One seed of corn is nothing for you, but it means a lot for us. We are your people, and we are hungry and poor. Please share some of your seeds with us." The king thought for a moment. He did not want to share his seeds. But he also did not want to look bad in front of his people. He decided to give them a little food, just to get rid of them. "Fine, I will give you some seeds," the king said. "But only on one condition." "What is it, Your Majesty?" Maria asked. "You can have as much seeds as you want. But you have to follow this rule. I will give you one seed of corn today, 2 seeds tomorrow, 4 seeds the day after tomorrow, and so on. Every day, I will double the amount of seeds I give you. Do you agree?" Maria smiled. She knew that the king did not understand math very well. She agreed to his condition. "Yes, Your Majesty, we agree," she said. The king gave them 1 seed of corn from his barn. Maria and Carlos thanked him and left. The next day, they came back and got 2 seeds of corn from the king. The day after that, they got 4 seeds of corn from the king. Every day, they came back and got more and more seeds of corn from the king. The king did not notice how much food he was giving them at first. He thought that 1 seed of corn was nothing, and 2 seeds were almost nothing. And 4 seeds were still very little. But soon, he realized that he was giving them a lot of food. He saw that his barn was getting emptier and emptier every day. He tried to stop them, but it was too late. He had already agreed to their condition, and he could not break his promise. On the 30th day, Maria and Carlos came to get their final amount of seeds of corn from the king. They brought many baskets, sacks, wagons, and animals with them. They asked for 536,870,912 seeds of corn from the king. That was more than half of his barn. The king had no choice but to give them all his food. He watched as they emptied his barn and filled their containers with seeds of corn. He was angry and sad. He had lost all his food, and he had nothing left. Maria and Carlos were happy and proud. They had won all the food. And they had enough for everyone. They shared the seeds of corn with their people, who were very happy and grateful. They ate the seeds of corn and felt better. They also planted the seeds of corn and grew crops and fed animals. They thanked Maria and Carlos for their clever plan. They also thanked the king for his generous gift. The king learned his lesson. He realized that he had been greedy and selfish, and that he had not cared about his people. He decided to change his ways and become a better king. He apologized to his people and asked for their forgiveness. He also asked Maria and Carlos to teach him math, so that he would not make the same mistake again. They agreed to help him, and they became his friends. Vocabulary: locusts, locusts, locusts. King, king, king. Lantern, lantern, lantern. Barn, barn, barn. Math, math, math. Seeds, seeds, seeds. Wagon, wagon, wagon. Animals, animals, animals. Gift, gift, gift.